All right, let's go over your downloadable so you can, kind of get into this week. I'm asking a lot of you this week. But you're up for it. You're up for it. This is not week, this is Revelation 6. So we're almost at the end and you've learned a lot and you've grown so much and you're up for this challenge. So let's get to your surrender downloadable, pulling that up for myself. All right, so for the surrender downloadable, you're kind of doing identify and recognize in the same week. So the first thing is write down the thing or things you most need to surrender. So that should have come up from all the work we've been doing, all the things I've been talking about with you, reading the sixth revelation. You know that thing that you need to surrender. So you're going to write that down, whatever that thing is that you need. It may be one, it may be a couple. I'm suggesting one, but if you feel like there's more than one, that's on you. Write down what you need to surrender. So now number two, you're going to write any reason that you may be afraid to release this. So I will IRO myself. I'll go back in the past with the thing I needed to surrender. I need to surrender in that time the dream of having a kid the way I wanted to, because I was beginning to cause myself pain. I was beginning to abuse myself because it wasn't happening the way that I wanted to. So I had to surrender that. So write down any reason that you may be afraid to release that. I think the feelings of fear at that time was because it wasn't, I just wanted it because I wanted it. I wanted it the way that I wanted it, right? And sometimes we want things the way we want that we want things to work out. So I think that at that time I was afraid to release it because I didn't want to. Number one, because I wanted to have a baby that way. Number two, I wasn't ready to see my life outside of having it the way that I wanted it. So that was a reason of fear for me of releasing it. And number three, I think it at that time I was using it to judge myself. I made a judgment on myself, of my femininity, my womanhood, everything. So there were a lot of things tied into that for me. So those were things that I needed to be, those were things that were making me afraid to release it. So I needed to release the story that I was telling myself about who I was because I couldn't have a baby the way I decided that I should be able to have a baby. And I needed to release the judgment that I put on myself. So the reasons why I didn't want to release, like I said, I was afraid. I was afraid of what it said about me. I was afraid because I didn't want to, because I wanted my life to look like what I decided it should look, when it should look like that. So I don't know what your reasons are. I'm just sharing with you my reasons. So number two, you're going to write down the reasons you think you've been afraid to release that. Okay. So after you've identified what you want to surrender, number two, you've written down the reasons you are afraid or that you've held on to it, that you haven't released it. So you've identified it, and trust me, it's healing when you give those things a name. When you look at yourself and say, why am I really holding on to this? Why really won't I let this go? And you write it down and you see there's something that makes your brain and your heart go to the next place. Because sometimes we just hold on to a feeling, but we don't know why we feel this way. But when we get quiet and we're really honest with ourselves about the reasons we don't want to surrender, the reasons we don't want to release, and we can look at it and say, okay, so I've told myself this story about myself that maybe I'm not fully this woman if I can't do this thing. Well, that's a lie. And we all know it's a lie theoretically. What we have to do is accept it in our heart, right? Accept it in our heart and be able to tell ourselves a new story about, and when I say story, I don't mean make believe, I mean a new truth about who we are, who God has inherently created to be in our value and our worth. And our value and our worth does not come from that thing that we are afraid to release. Okay? Now, as we talked about before, these things that we're afraid to release or that you need to surrender can be a bunch of different things. It could be a pain from the past. It could be a death, right? That you've been holding on to, sadness and grief. And I'm not saying release your sadness over losing someone that you love. I lost my best friend, and I believe I've shared that with you on my birthday. Uh, hmm, 10 years ago. Is it 10, 12 years ago now? But it still feels very recent for me. But when I talked about surrender, like I said, we're surrendering not the love or the hurt that we feel over that thing happened. We're surrendering the decision that we've made to let it stop us from living. I lost my friend on my birthday. If I had let the pain of that stop me from living to do things, then I need to surrender that. I'm not surrendering her. I'm not surrendering being hurt over that she's passed. I'm surrendering holding myself back from living because of that event. Okay, so I don't want you, those of us who have a death and we know, and you're like, well, you're asking me to surrender the hurt I feel over that. No, I'm not. If you lost someone you love, I lost my father. I lost my best friend. I've lost a lot of people. There's a part of me that will always be hurt of it. But if I've allowed the loss of them to stop me from living, to stop me from loving, to stop me, period, then it's time to surrender that part of it. And so that is what you're surrendering. Okay, so now let's go to the next. The surrender exercises. There are 5 options that I've explored that I want you to look through. And these are surrender and release exercises that I think will bless you and help you. So I want you to determine which one is fit for you. Okay. So the other reason that I'm asking you to do this is because in your journey, there are milestone events that help you to overcome something, to take you to the new place. You might think this is a useless activity. It is not. We have milestone events because they mean something and they register with our heart and mind. And we can put a milestone somewhere of the day we let something go. And I'm not saying you won't 3 weeks later need to remind yourself of those reasons or continue to work and continue to release and continue to tell your mind you need to release. Those things come up. Something you've held on to for 10 years and I'm asking you to release now, it may be a journey. But this milestone activity that you're about to do, because I've said this before, we identify what the thing is. We recognize the root cause, which we're doing in question 1 and 2. And then you're doing the action to overcome. The action to overcome helps you to get to the new place. And so I believe that these are one of these. So you're going to choose the one that you think works best for you and let your mind, your heart, your soul know through this physical activity that I am making the decision to release this and know that it matters. Okay, so number 1 is release with fire. It may sound scary or it may sound exciting. I don't know how you feel when you hear that term, but if you have a fireplace or a fire pit, so I want you to write down the thing that you need to release, right? So you write that thing down. Just the thing, you don't have to write down the reasons. You've already done that in your journal, but you're going to write down the thing you need to release. The pain over such and such, me carrying the guilt or such and such, or whatever that thing is for you, whatever it is, you're going to write that down, the thing you need to release. You're going to state your new surrender affirmations that are listed below that I'm going to go over with you to start your new beginning. So you're going to take that piece of paper and you're going to put it in the fire. That thing that you're surrendering that you've written down on a piece of paper, you're going to put it in the fire. And then you are going to say your affirmations. And your affirmations, I'm just going to go to them really quickly. With love, I now allow myself to release all that I cannot control. And with confidence and peace, I embrace the beauty of what is. With love, I now allow myself to release old beliefs. And with peace and gratitude, I embrace renewed thinking that serves my highest good. With love, I now allow myself to release fear and doubt. And with faith and hope, I declare that all things are working together for my good. So after you write your thing down, you place it in the fire, you're going to say your affirmations. Okay? So let's go over the next thing. Release through creative art or movement. So I think I shared this with you, but if not, I'm going to share it again. I got my degree in dance, so I'm a dancer. So every release that I'm going over with you, I've done in a different way, different time for different reasons. But I've often released with dance. I played a song and danced out my sadness or fear until my body was limp with exhaustion and my mind was set in a new direction. So I don't do that as much anymore, but it's still there. I can still do it if I want to. So there's sometimes you get it out. You dance it out. I don't know if you're a person who loves to dance, but sometimes you need to dance it out. And I mean, really dance it out. That ain't gonna do nothing. Dance it out. You can also release with a run, right? You can look at what you wrote, the thing that you need to surrender, and let that run or that jog or that long walk you go on be releasing those things through that movement, because physical activity changes and it does something to our mind structure. It's biological that helps us to release things. So these are things that you're releasing through creative art or movement. And after you come back from your run, after you're done dancing or whatever you want to do, or you can also write a poem, sing a song, anything that has special meaning. And if you're like, I don't write a poem, find a great poet like a Maya Angelou or someone else who has a poem that speaks to you. Whatever it is, creative art or movement, do your thing, release it. After you're done, you can also paint a picture, sometimes painting, sculpt, whatever your thing is in that list. You do that. After you do that, then you go back and you say your affirmations. And that is your activity for release. So let's go. Also, I share this in the downloadable. If you are a person of faith, like I am, I begin this activity in prayer. I just, say, Father God, I've come to you with this burden, and I am now putting it in your hands. I am releasing this. Your word says your yoke is easy and your burden is light. And so I'm choosing to release this burden and trust you. And then I do the activity. If it's the fire pit, write it down, put it in the fire, say your affirmations, and keep it moving. If you do not want to start this exercise in prayer, that is up to you. Like I said, be who you are. I've always said, bring your full self to the table. My full self is I'm a Christian woman, so I start the activity in prayer. I do the activity, then I release, and then I do the affirmation. So let's go to the next one. Release with water. So you are finding a big stone to write on. So it's got to be a pretty big stone, right? Something enough where you can kind of write on it in marker pen. And because it's a stone, we don't want to put a lot of toxicity into the water or the ocean. So just write one word that benefits that or that describes what the thing is you want to release. So with me, and it was the fertility, I don't know what my word would have been then. Maybe expectation and burden. That's I'm releasing that. I'm releasing that in that way because I expected things to work out a certain way. They didn't work out a certain way, so they became a burden. So I'm releasing the expectation and burden that I brought on myself based on this desire that I wanted, right? So you write that on the rock. You find a body of water. And just like you used to throw a penny into a fountain for a wish, you throw that rock into the water, and then you say your affirmations, which I will go through one more time. So you write whatever it is you're releasing. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a goal. Maybe it's something. Maybe you've decided, I love my body the way I am. I've done 8 million diets and I'm done with it. So you are releasing a weight. Maybe you thought, okay, you've been trying to be 130 pounds for forever. You're done with it. You're accepting your 160-pound self. You're going to find some clothes that look and complement your 160-pound self. You're going to eat foods that are healthy, and you're still going to keep it moving. And maybe you lose weight, maybe you won't, but you're releasing the need of that number. So you're writing that number down on that rock. You are throwing that rock in the ocean or in a lake, and then you are saying your affirmations, and you are releasing. The last one, nope, not the last one. Number 4 is releasing through letter writing. Write a letter to yourself, letting yourself know that it is now the time and it is okay to release and move forward. Be gentle with you, okay? Be gentle and understanding that this may have been hard for you. It may have been hard for you, and yet be firm that this is a decision that you must make and to free yourself and to move forward. After your letter is complete, say the affirmations below. And for me, I don't know what you want to do with that letter. I'm going to let you choose that. For me, I may burn it or I may keep it. However what you need to do, your soul knows what gives you peace. So if it's something you want to write down and writing it all out has gotten it out and you're ready to put it in an envelope and put it in a drawer in your journal for later, you know what I mean? To maybe 10 years from now, look back on the time that you made this milestone letter and you release something, just say your affirmations and keep it moving. Okay, so number 5, release through nature. This one I love too. If you have a backyard or front yard with grass, go outside. And if you don't have that, go to a park with grass. Just go wherever there's grass, okay? And you're gonna stand barefoot in the grass. This work is called grounding. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but you can look it up. It's called grounding. And the science behind grounding is this. Our human bodies are bioelectrical. We are bioelectrical beings that carry a positive charge. And that charge can build up in our bodies. The earth that we are on, has a negative charge. So when we make contact through grounding with our bare feet on the earth, we discharge our excess energy and it produces a healing effect at a cellular level. It's called grounding and it is absolute. And as a Christian, it makes me love God even more. I'm like, you thought of everything. So because he created us in this way that we are bioelectrical beings that carry a positive charge and the earth a negative charge, even the very earth that we stand on was inherently created to give us healing, to discharge excess energy and produce a healing effect in our bodies on a cellular level. That to me is awesome. So anyway, walk around barefoot for 10 minutes just because it feels good too. It feels good. How often? Don't get me, I'll go on a tangent, y'all, with the way modern technology has disconnected us from nature and our things that we've created to just have in the earth and in our bodies. Okay, I'm stopping. Anyway, walk around barefoot for 10 minutes in the grass. And as you do this, say, I am willing to release. I am willing to release. I am willing to release. I love grounding. I love grounding. After you've released the walking, coupled with your words, then go back and say your affirmations. Or if you like, flip it up, say you're willing to release as you walk around. And then if you have your affirmations on you, walk around and say your affirmations. Okay? So do whatever works for you. And again, your affirmations that you are going to be saying in the mirror, this is a part of your mirror work, of course, is your affirmations. So let's go over those now. You say the following affirmations in your mirror 2 times a day. So you're starting new mirror work now. We had mirror work for grace. Now we're doing our new mirror work for surrender, which we always do in the second week of the new revelation that we are on. So I'm going to go over it again and then we're done. With love, I now allow myself to release all that I cannot control. And with confidence and peace, I embrace the beauty of what is. With love, I now allow myself to release old beliefs, and with peace and gratitude, I embrace renewed thinking that serves my highest good. With love, I now allow myself to release fear and doubt, and with faith and hope, I declare that all things are working together for my good. Okay, so that is the 6 Revelations, second week. I look forward to seeing all your stuff in our Live More, Carry Less private Facebook group, the things you're surrendering. Please let me know which activity you chose. And I don't know how you would take a picture of it. You want to take a picture of grass, or if you want to take a picture of the ocean or the fire pit or whatever. Those are, like I said, things that bring me joy. Those are the things that bring me joy. Seeing your milestone accomplishments. I can't tell you how happy it makes me. So please post. It also encourages other people and it gives other people ideas too. So go ahead and do those. Post it in the group. Much love to you. And I will see you next week for the 6 Revelation Surrender Challenge. All right. Bye-bye.